Tag TV brings you daily news bulletin from India. Breaking news and views from India.
Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Lepakshi Khurana. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Monday, the 8th of April. India's ruling BJP releases manifesto for general election 2019. Minority groups stage anti-Pakistan protest outside White House. And fight will continue in Afghanistan alongside peace efforts, says US Commander Miller. And now for all the details. India's ruling Bharatiya Janata Party on Monday released its manifesto in the presence of Prime Minister Narendra Modi 3 days ahead of the general elections beginning from April 11th. In the 48-page manifesto, the BJP has laid out its vision in the field of agriculture, education and robust nationalism for the next 5 years. India's ruling Bharatiya Janata Party or BJP on Monday released its manifesto 3 days ahead of the general elections beginning from April 11th. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, BJP Chief Amit Shah, Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj and galaxy of other top party leaders were present on the occasion. In the 48-page manifesto, the BJP has laid out its vision in the field of agriculture, education and robust nationalism for the next 5 years. It says the party would also work towards lowering the tax rate and raise credit to small businesses, $14.39 billion by 2024.
75 निश्चित कदम हमने तय किए हैं। ये अपने आप में टाइम बाउंड, वेल डिफाइंड शायद ही कोई घोषणा पत्र में या संकल्प पत्र में आप पहली बार देख पाते होंगे। उसके साथ साथ हम जब इस मैनिफेस्टो को लेकर के आए हैं तो साफ है हमारे मन में वन मिशन, वन डायरेक्शन.
We are the only government which, for the benefit of the people, including the poor and the middle class, not only controlled inflation, but actually gave to India a 5-year tenure where taxes were only reduced, never increased.
Prime Minister Modi has made his strong stance on national security a key part of the BJP's election campaign following a recent flare-up in tensions with arch foe Pakistan. Involving around 900 million voters, India's general election will be the world's first democratic exercise, with the vote taking place in 7 phases between April 11th and May 19th. Results will be announced on May 23rd. Moving on, scores of people belonging to several ethnic and religious minority groups held a protest outside the White House on Sunday to raise voices against atrocities being inflicted upon them in Pakistan. They also highlighted that Pakistan has been sponsoring terrorism to wage proxy wars and oppressing minorities.
Several ethnic and religious minority groups, including the Muhajirs, Baloch, Pashtuns and representatives from Gilgit-Baltistan, staged a demonstration on Sunday outside the White House in Washington, D.C. to highlight atrocities inflicted upon them in Pakistan. Expressing their anger, the protesters raised their voices against human rights violations by the Pakistani state and its security forces and demanded absolute freedom from the clutches of Islamabad. They also demanded the international community to end all types of funding to Pakistan over its policy of sponsoring terrorism, for waging proxy wars and oppressing minorities.
Every day there are killings, there are disappearances of our workers and of our supporters. Everybody is they brutally be killed by Pakistani establishment and ISI. So we are here to raise our voice with the human organization, human rights organization, and the White House, United Nations.
On the one hand, so they are supporting them. And the second hand, they are misbriefing the world that saying we are not with these mullahs, we are not with those terrorist groups. But this is not the truth.
Ethnic minorities in Pakistan have long blamed that they are facing worst form of genocide against the mankind in the country. They blame several innocent people and activists have been victims of abduction, torture and extrajudicial killings for demanding even basic rights and raising their voices against the ill treatment.
In news from Afghanistan, Commander of US and NATO forces in Afghanistan, General Scott Miller, has said that foreign forces and their Afghan counterparts will continue military campaign against the insurgents alongside supporting the peace efforts. Miller said he strongly supports efforts for bringing the war to an end in the country.
General Scott Miller, commander of the US and NATO forces in Afghanistan, has said that foreign forces and their Afghan counterparts will continue military campaign against the insurgents alongside supporting the peace efforts. Miller said he strongly supports efforts for bringing the war to an end in the country. His remarks came amid peace efforts underway at national and international levels.
با مردم افغانستان میگویم که باید به نیروهای امنیتی تان افتخار کنید. آنان قربانی‌های بسیاری می‌دهند. امروز در میانه گفتگوهای صلح هستیم و همزمان با این که گفتگوهای صلح داریم به جنگ نیز متعهد هستیم. زمانش که برسد از صلح حمایت می‌کنیم اما جنگ نیز خواهیم کرد.
The United States has around 14,000 troops in Afghanistan as part of the NATO-led mission known as Resolute Support. There were reports to withdraw half of the force as the peace talks proceed, but no action has been taken yet.
More news from Afghanistan. Critics, including representatives of political parties and movements in Afghanistan on Sunday, branded the government's Grand Jirga on peace as politically motivated. They said the allocation of millions of dollars for the traditional Grand Assembly is misuse of the national budget.
Representatives of mainstream political parties and movements in Afghanistan on Sunday branded the government's Grand Jirga on peace politically motivated as the country prepares for presidential elections. They described the allocation of budget of millions of dollars for the Jirga as misuse of the national budget, while legal experts said Jirga's decisions have legal base, but only if they are not suggestions. Meanwhile, member of the Peace Jirga's organizing committee, Daud Kalakni, said members of the Grand Assembly will only give suggestions and that the final decision is supposed to be taken by the President.
فیصله های این جرگه اجرایی نباشه و اجرایی شدن این فیصله ها منوط به اراده حکومت باشه در موجودیت پارلمان افغانستان برگزاری همچون نشستی و با هزینه 369 میلیون افغانی در واقع هدر دادن منابع ملی به نفع افراد و اشخاص و تکیت های خاص است.
و توقع دارند که حکومت افغانستان، رئیس جمهور افغانستان مشوره هایشان در نظر بگیره و مشوره هایشان مومد کارهای صلح و امنیت و مذاکره با طالبان تلقی بکنند.
Jirga is a traditional assembly of Afghan delegates from all sections of the society. Last month, President Ashraf Ghani in a decree assigned a committee to convene the consultative Loya Jirga on peace on April 29. According to the High Peace Council, women will make 30% of the delegates.
A group of women have become popular in India's northern Jammu and Kashmir for their handmade crochet items. The initiative has been taken up by a local Kashmiri woman by starting an online crafts shop, further providing employment opportunities to several women.
Women in India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province have been generating employment opportunities for themselves by starting traditional crochet business, which has been gaining popularity among Kashmiris. A group of women in Srinagar city have become popular in the Kashmir Valley for their handmade crochet items. A young Kashmiri woman, Binish Khan, has launched an online craft shop. Through it, she has been training and providing jobs to local unemployed women, mostly belonging to underprivileged families.
ये बहुत ही अच्छा स्टेप है हमारे लिए, लड़कियों के लिए, ख़ास लड़कियों के लिए जो घर में बैठी होती है, जिनके पास कुछ करने का नहीं होता, जो ऑलमोस्ट जो गरीब भी होते हैं, बहुत जिनको ये जॉब नहीं मिलती है, उनके लिए बहुत बेटर है ये बिज़नेस, क्रॉसेट बिज़नेस।
जब एक चीज़ बिकी फिर दूसरा बंदा आया, मैंने उसके पास ऐसी चीज़ देखी, मेरे लिए ऐसी बनाओ, मतलब ऐसे लोग आते गए। कभी किसी ने बोला नहीं चाहिए, नहीं ये बिल्कुल अच्छा नहीं है, ऐसा कभी कहीं से रेस्पॉन्स दिया, रेस्पॉन्स हमेशा पॉजिटिव ही आ गया। तो उस वजह से लगा हाँ ये ग्रो कर रहा है, डिमांड अच्छी आ रही है। उसके बाद लोग इवन काफ़ी सारे लोग आए सिखाने के लिए, हमें सिखाओ भी, हमें दिखाओ भी कैसे करना है।
Kashmir has been famous for its handloom items, and crochet has been one such art which was used to be practiced by women in the past at their homes in free time.
Members of the transgender community on Sunday gathered in a cemetery in India's southern Bengaluru city to offer prayers to the deity Kateri Amman. The special worship is performed every Sunday as it is considered an auspicious day and is attended by more than 200 members of the transgender community. Members of transgender community on Sunday gathered in a cemetery in India's southern Bengaluru city to offer prayers to their deity. Devotees were seen performing various rituals to appease their deity, Kateri Amman, a Hindu goddess at the Shanti Nagar burial ground in the city. The special worship is performed every Sunday as it is considered the auspicious day and is attended by more than 200 members of the transgender community.
She is belong to all over the world, like water, earth and here, everything she belongs to this, and she take care of all our health and wealth. So she is very powerful here, and that is why she came and stood here.
This is the special god of Kateri Amman. Whatever we pray, it will be success. In that purpose only we used to come and pray here.
India has about 2 million transgender people according to the 2011 census. People belonging to transgender community are often ostracized from the society, deemed as abnormal, discriminated against, and hence are left with a minimal access to education, employment and other facilities. A tribal community in Imphal city of India's northeastern Manipur province ushered in its Lunar New Year on Sunday by offering prayers. Devotees, including children, ascended hillocks and offered vegetables, rice and several other food items to the deity to celebrate the occasion.
A tribal community in Imphal city of India's northeastern Manipur province ushered in its Lunar New Year on Sunday by offering prayers. Members of the Meitei community climbed a hill which is symbolic of elevation of the spirit to reach the Almighty and offered traditional delicacies to the deities to mark the auspicious occasion. Sajibu Nongma Panba Cherauba is one of the most important festivals for the community. Devotees, including children, ascend hillocks and offer vegetables, rice and several other food items to their deity on the occasion.
This is very important for our communities, Meitei communities, because this is the first day. This is called New Year Day for our Meitei communities.
On the occasion, men of the house also prepare a number of dishes for a special lunch with family while the women assist them. The meals are traditionally offered in areas in front and rear of the house which are specially cleansed and decorated with flowers and leaves.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. India's ruling BJP releases manifesto for general election 2019. Minority group stage anti-Pakistan protest outside White House. And fight will continue in Afghanistan alongside peace efforts, says US Commander Miller. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.